right, Nick. So today we're doing session 1. Can I have you turn to page 8? And we're going to talk about thinking, feeling, and behaving. What is the connection? Perfect. So, everyone has worries and has to deal with hard things in their life. But making a choice to deal with these things in a positive way will help you to feel good about yourself. Okay? So we're going to talk a lot about choosing to think positively. So when you think positively, you'll be happier and have less worry. How you think affects how you feel and how you behave, which is that triangle. So it starts with your thoughts, and then that affects how you feel, and then that affects how you act. Does that make sense? That triangle? Kind of. What's hard about it, or what kind of questions do you have about it? Do you want to just go over some examples and then we'll see if we can figure it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Or did you have a question?
No.
Okay. We'll go over some examples. So many times there's something that happens in your life, we call that a trigger event, that starts your negative or your sad or your mad thinking. So sometimes there's something that happens that makes you upset, and then that kind of starts your thinking not good, and then you're feeling not good, and then you maybe don't act so good. Okay? So let's turn the page. I think examples might help. Go ahead and turn the page. So here's our first example. So we have 10-year-old Sophia doesn't feel good about herself. When her class picked teams for their kickball game, she got picked last. Now Sophia thinks that no one likes her. She feels sad, and she doesn't talk to anyone in her class for the rest of the day. So what was her trigger event? What started everything?
They were picking teams for the kickball game, and she got picked last.
That wouldn't feel good, huh? Do you guys play kickball at school?
Sometimes.
What would your class play? What kind of game would your class play?
Like, we would just play, like, kickball with homes and that.
With what?
With bases.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Kickball, like almost like baseball, but you're kicking it? Yeah. Okay. So, what was her negative thought? So the trigger event is she got picked last. What was her negative thought?
That she thought that nobody would like her anymore.
Right. Do you think that you might think that if you got picked last?
No.
No. That's good. What would you think if you got picked last?
I think, like, some people would like to be friends with me. I got picked last time.
Wait, so you think that they wouldn't always pick you last? They're still your friends anyways?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it doesn't mean you don't have friends just because you got picked last.
Yeah.
That's a very positive thought. Well, Sophia did not pick the positive thought. She thought no one liked her. So then what was her negative feeling? What did she feel like?
She felt really bad.
Mm-hmm. And so how did she act?
Really sad.
Uh-huh. And what did she do? What does it say that she did? What was her negative behavior?
She didn't talk to anyone.
Right. That makes sense, right? So she felt sad because she thought no one liked her, so then she didn't talk to anyone. Yeah. Good. Great job. So you wouldn't have that problem in this situation because you would already have the positive thought that it doesn't mean you don't have friends just because you got picked last. That's great. Okay, let's go to another example. This is Jaden. 11-year-old Jaden normally gets good grades, but he just got a D on his math test. Jaden thinks, okay, I messed up, but I'll study harder and I'll do better next time. So how do you think Jaden feels when he's thinking that?
I think he feels really happy if he's going to work really hard next time.
I know, right? That's awesome. He was okay with it, because maybe it was the only time he's ever gotten a D. He was okay with that. Maybe. So what was the trigger event? What started it all?
He got a D in math.
Mm-hmm. But he had a positive thought, so then he probably felt happy and was okay about it. Yeah. So does that make more sense now? That's how we're talking about the triangle, where whatever you think then makes you feel a certain way, and then you act a certain way. So if you're thinking positively, you're probably going to feel better and act okay. But if you're thinking a negative thought, then you might feel sad or mad and then not act so well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, turn the page. Now it's your turn. So, and Mom can help if you can't think of anything.
Okay.
Can you think of something that happened recently that made you really happy?
Going to Disneyland.
Oh, yes. That's a huge one. So what were you thinking when you were going to Disneyland?
I thought I would have a really nice time.
Uh-huh. So you were thinking about how much fun you were going to have.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel?
Really glad.
And then how did you act?
I act really great.
Like, what does Nick do when he gets really excited and happy? Do you jump up and down? Scream for joy?
No.
Run around in circles?
No.
Smile a lot?
No.
What do you do? How did Mom and Dad know that you were happy to go to Disneyland?
Well, I was saying that can we go on these rides?
Okay, so you were getting really excited to go on all the rides.
Yeah.
You probably weren't crying or having a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay, awesome. So you had a good thought, which made you feel good, and then you're acting good. Did you get along with everybody in the family for the most part on the trip?
Yeah.
Good. You're in a good mood. And I bet everybody else was in a good mood too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so now I want you to think of something that happened recently that made you really upset. So something sad or something that made you sad or mad or annoyed, worried.
I don't know.
Can you think of anything?
No.
Does Mom have any ideas?
How about, do you want to talk about when Dad had his surgery?
No.
How you got worried about that? You don't want to talk about that?
What about anything at school? Has anything at school made you worried? Or anything with friends? Got in any fight with your sister or brother lately? Or arguing with Mom and Dad about something?
How about you and Kaylee arguing? We did that this morning.
There we go. First thing, we've got something fresh in our minds. Okay, so what happened this morning?
I forgot.
You forgot?
Well, you wanted to do something with Kaylee, didn't you? And she didn't want to do something with you?
No.
No?
I don't remember.
Let's see what happened this morning. Well, Kaylee wasn't feeling good because she had those canker sores, and you got upset that she kept talking about it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe talk about that.
Okay. So your sister was talking about her canker sores, and what were you thinking?
I was thinking that she would just say the same things like over and over.
She
Like
keeps
every
saying the
day.
same things. Okay. And what were do you have any other thoughts about that?
No.
So what if she was saying the same things?
If she like said it like over and over and over,
Uh-huh.
I'll probably get really tired of it.
Okay, so she keeps saying these things and getting really tired of it. Okay, so how did that make you feel?
It made me feel really mad.
Okay, annoyed and mad probably. Okay, so then how did you act? What'd you do?
I was telling them to stop talking about it.
Okay, did you raise your voice a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe yell at her?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Did you punch her?
No.
No, good. Anything else though? Did you tackle her?
No.
Just yelled at her?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's an example of another trigger event that was not so good. That was your sister annoying you, so then you had some negative thoughts about that, and then you felt not so good, and then you yelled at her. Didn't turn out well, huh?
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble too?
No.
No, okay. So it wasn't a little reprimanding from mom or dad. Okay. Okay. So what could you have changed your negative thought to when Kaylee's annoying you with her canker sore stories?
I would just probably say, can you please stop talking about your canker sore?
Okay. So that's what you could have done. What could you have thought differently before you actually said something to her? It probably did annoy you. That's okay. Maybe you could have thought, she's kind of annoying me, but I'm going to stay calm and I'm going to ask her to stop. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you would have felt a little calmer, and then you would have, like you said, asked her to stop. Do you think she would listen to you if you asked her to stop?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope so, but I don't know. Sometimes sisters and brothers don't always listen to each other.
She probably will.
She probably would. Okay. Good.
Kaylee
Good.
probably responds better to you if you don't yell at her.
That's part of it, yeah. Speaking calmly, just nicely asking her. Good job, that's hard. And I asked you for an extra step, which is changing your thought. Good. Okay, so on the next page it says, when something happens, your thoughts